everybody, it's Kat from Creative Crafts, and this is your first time here. Welcome to my channel. And today's tip of the day is, what do we do with these foam heads? You want to know what we're going to be doing? You need to watch further. So everybody, the first step is you're going to paint your picture frame. And what I did is I put something under it so that when I paint it, it's not sticking to the paper, because when you try to pull it off, the paint, when it's too thick, what will happen, the paint will drip and it will get stuck to the newspaper, and then you'll have this thing hanging on the side, and I don't want that. So the quick tip for today is make sure that you don't, I guess I'll use this one, that you don't leave it on the paper. Put it up a little. You can use glass cups, just put foam around, or it depends how big your frame you want. I decided I wanted to use this size frame because it matched perfect with the head. I guess now you're gonna start seeing exactly what I'm going to do with this. The first thing is I'm gonna paint this all black. Hopefully I just need one coat. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to pour some in the middle here. You're going to throw that piece of paper away anyway, or you can use it for your paper mache products, things. And I'm just going to paint over this frame. I'm using a brush. If you want, you can also use a sponge. I'm going to see which one is easier for me or which one it looks better. Most likely it will be the sponge one. What I want to do is I'm going to cut this sponge in half. As you can see, I use this for a different project, for a stamp, making a stamp. But I'm just going to cut a small piece off because you can reuse it. And I'm just going to stick the sponge in and then dip. You don't want to go like this to it. You just want to dip and go like this. Because then what will happen, you'll have this nice effect on it once you do it with the sponge. But I'm sure I'm gonna have to do twice, go over it twice. We will see, because once it's dry, maybe it will look just great because of the gray underneath it. So now we let this dry, and then we can check and see what areas need to be touched up. Then we can touch that. While we're waiting for this to dry, we'll do the next step. So now the next thing that we have to do while this is drying is we're going to cut this head, not directly here, but just a little bit out. And I want it to look like it's coming out, so I'm going to cut it in like an angle. That's a good idea. So just going to take any kind of butter knife or a saw, hand saw, and you just cut it. It's foam, it's going to be easy, I hope. Now we got our piece that can sit here perfectly, just like I wanted it to. A little bit of a slant into it, like this. Not straight, but I put it in the slant. So now, after you cut this, of course we clean up, get the vacuum cleaner, clean up all these little messy things here. Make sure you vacuum the area here if you have the paint thing next to here. Make sure this is completely dry, this area here, all these, the frame. And now I'm going to move it to a little bit to the side so I can glue my head to the part where I want to have it on, glue it with the hot glue gun, and then I'm going to spray paint it white. So stay tuned and we're going to go to the next step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue the head. What I love is they have this stone still on here. So I'm going to have this head stick here. I'm going to use my glue gun. Actually, I don't know if I want to use the glue gun. I think I'm going to use the E6000 because I'm afraid that I know the hot glue will melt the foam. Got some there in the front. We didn't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some here on the side. And I'm going to wipe it off from the side onto there because I don't want it to get stuck again. And then I'm just going to stick a little bit of hot glue on it. Not too thick. And then I'm going to stick this baby, got some of that really strong glue on there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to try to glue some of it here on the side. I know that it's not a good idea because the glue gun will probably melt the foam, but it may also help it stick better. You're not going to see this anyway. So, and just wait till it cools. So after you glue it on and it cools and it's stuck on there very well, you're going to take this outside and spray paint it white. You can hand paint it, but spray painting it with this way would be easier. Same thing goes for this one here too. If you wanted to spray paint it black, it's quicker and it'll dry faster. But I'm just going to wait until this cools and then we're going to go to the spray painting part. So everybody, the next step is after you glue it, like I did here, I painted it one little length, very thin coating of white paint so you don't see so much of the blue here anymore. And then I took an old curtain and I cut it up around almost the size of this. What I did here is I made it a little bit bigger so you can bunch it up, make sure that you put it down. I was going to use Mosh Posh, but I decided not to because I have a feeling that would be way too thin to use. You need something thicker. So I got some glue, wood glue. It's a little bit thicker. So I'm going to use this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the eyes first, where the indents are, and just do the top of the face. Make sure you get enough all around the sides. You want it to be glued everywhere. Down the chin, down the face. So now the next step is to take the piece that you want and stick it on there nice and tight. Yes, you can use something else. I will use like the bottom of, see, your hand gets stuck to it, so you need something that's not going to get stuck. You can maybe dip the brush into the paint and make sure there's no air bubbles in it, and like this. This is just the first part, so it's not going to be so, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to make sure I put enough glue so that it sticks there really well. You let that sit and dry for a few. I'm going to stick that way inside so it doesn't get hard. And wait until that totally dries, and then we can put the next coat on top, but that's going to be a little bit of a different method. So after you've put the first coat, I decided to do another piece of material on top because I want it to be all unnoticeable there. So the next step after you put that first part in, I would take my piece, and I have some, like a Moss Posh I made myself. I'm going to dip this material that I cut to size. Actually, it's an old curtain that I cut to size. I'm going to dip this inside and saturate it. Brush. Go like this. Make sure you get enough in it that you know that it's sitting there and it's saturated. Very well saturated. I think cotton would be the best thing to use for this because this kind of material, which is an old curtain, it's very thin and it's really doesn't hold much of the glue on it, as you can see on the first part I did already. So here's another method. I just saturated it with this glue. It's wet as it can get. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it drip everywhere because I have newspaper everywhere, and then I'm just going to stick this on top of there, and I'm gonna just, you can fix this up here, but I just want to make sure that the glue is making it stick onto everything like this, like you see. It should stick without any problems. Now what I'm going to do is take my hand and start on one end and try to get the head. Cheesecloth definitely will be better, but I want to make sure I get the eyes. That's why I had to have these extra material here. Maybe I need the paintbrush again. And use this instead of my finger or fingers, and I'm hoping that this works. So you want to make sure that it looks like the eyes, and you see the nose area, and that you see that it's a face here. Whenever you pull down this way, the eyes end up disappearing. And the same thing goes with the chin, the mouth. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so that you can see, they can see that it's a face coming out from the frame. And that's it. I mean, you see it's all wet here. What I'll do now is just let it dry, See how it comes out. And once it's dried, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a varnish spray paint and spray paint over that whole thing, and that makes it actually more stable. So now we're going to wait until that dries, and then we'll go to the next step. So as you can see, it's totally dry. It's a little soft here, but it doesn't matter. In some areas it's pretty hard, and it's nice and glued on there, so as you can see. So now what I want to do is, it's still kind of wet in the back, but that's okay. I want to now stick my frame on there, which is, put that over there. This is gonna look awesome. You don't have to use such a big frame like I did here. Once I put this onto here, I'm going to take this outside and spray paint the whole thing with a varnish, because then once you do that, it helps the look more a little bit more like glossies. It glows or gloss shines, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to turn this like this and pick this up. It may need a little bit of work to fit it in. Because remember that end there, you have to make sure you get all the, okay, what I want to do is lift it up a little bit more. Now I know why that's not going down, because of this. There we go. And then stick the things over it. May need a little less persuading, a little bit more pushing into it, but not too much. You don't want to break it. This should be going in with no problem, but let's close these ones up. The ones that look okay. Right now it's just this little corner here that don't want to go in. You can get something and persuade it a little bit. Now, could be that it gets like that because of the material that's on it. There you go. Now I'm going to spray paint this with a clear varnish quickly. If this area here bothers you, that you can see the rocks or you didn't fill it up completely all around with the material like I did here, you could always take some spider webs, you know, those ones you buy for Halloween, and just stick some on here around this area. I see that I should actually put some more material here. That's what I'm saying. When you do this, double check your things that you do with it, but I think it looks awesome. If you did it correctly, it would actually look like this. Now I got some of that stuff on it. There you go, got that off. So now I get my spray varnish. I'm just gonna spray it on in the house. I have the balcony doors open, it's wide open, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit on it. Just to give it a little bit of a shine. And then go around this area a little bit too again. And that should be fine. Let it sit and dry, which will be, this is a quick drying one, so give it about 5 minutes and it should be totally dry. And then we can go to the next step. Hi everybody, here is the finished project. I think it looks awesome. This is exactly what I'm talking about, how I want it to look like. I'm going slowly to the side. So you can see that the face is coming out of the picture frame. This is the look I was looking for. And this is what I wanted to do. I saw a few videos on how to do this. I was a little bit confused. Some of them didn't tell you exactly what they used for glue. So I had to try to figure this out on my own. It's not very hard to do. It looks great, I think. And yeah, it's a great Halloween decoration to hang in your home or outside. So I hope you enjoy this. Give it the thumbs up, please. I would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed on my channel yet, please do on the button below. And on the side of that, there's a little bell. If you want to get notifications on any videos that I post out, press that and you'll get notifications right away. If you make this project, please post it on your page, whatever page you have, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you have. Please post it and send me the link. I would love to check it out. I'd love to see pictures and projects of people that actually watched my video and did the project. So please don't forget to send me the pictures. Also, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or Pinterest, I will put the link below. So I hope, again, like I said, I hope you enjoyed my videos. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.